Hello guys, Blair Harrison aka Harrison Productions here. I hope you are keeping well. And today is, well, it was a video I was not planning to make. So today is Tuesday the 10th of September, and a couple of days ago on Friday the 6th of September I went into a shop called Kenny's Music in Glasgow, which is a guitar shop, and pretty good one if I don't mind saying so. The reason I was attracted to going there was because Kenny's Music has just released, or at least has done, a dedicated room of the pre-owned vintage guitar room. Now basically it's a basement and it's full of like pre-owned and vintage guitars, which obviously, you know, is a must-see if you're into that kind of thing. But it was actually one day, a few days ago, on Instagram, you know, as you do, flicking through whatever nonsense someone's uploaded, or having to suffer the notifications of Instagram where you think people are actually commenting and liking your content, but in actual fact, it's just them telling you to follow some cunts you don't even want to follow, or keep trying to tell you who keeps following you on threads. God, crap, guys. Anyway, I saw a video from Kenny's Music and they had this one particular guitar that they showed off. And of course I got interested because it was a guitar like no other. So come Friday, I walked in the shop and I tried this guitar out. And well, let's just say a day later I actually bought that guitar. Yes, that's how bad of a guitar it is that I wanted it. So what is it? It's right here. Gotta take the things off. Ta-da! This. You're like, what is this? Oh no, I'll probably do a close-up, but this is a Fender Pawnshop Mustang Special. Now, this might be a blast from the past if you remember these guitars back in the day. This was a series made by Fender, but, well, my model, although it said on the website it was around 2007 to 2010, but when I looked at the serial number, it was actually made on May 2011. So this is when this line came out. So in that period, Fender released a series called the Pawnshop Special, which for those outside of America, that means secondhand basically. And the idea was basically you'd go into a secondhand guitar shop and you'd see something like this where, for example, this is a Mustang, but with wide humbuckers. They did this, and there was another guitar that I don't remember the name of, but it had the body of the original, I want to say 51, but it might be 52, Fender Precision Bass. You know the one Sting has? Aye, that one, before they changed it in 1954 with the split single coils. They did that, but it was with humbuckers and for 6 strings. Now Fender don't make anything like this anymore, at least not in this series. I think now they would call it under their Paranormal series. Oh no wait, that's Squire. What's the Fender one called again? Alternate Reality, that's it. Alternate Reality series. But yeah, I saw this on Kenny's Music and I just thought it was a unique little guitar because, well, first off you got wide humbuckers, you got the toggle switch, but you still have the classic plastic switches that you see on most Mustangs. And so I was interested to see what this did. So I did some YouTube searching and obviously I found some videos. Rob Chapman, I think, has this actually. So you can see why this is a unique guitar. But it's a funky little guitar. It's made in Japan, which is interesting because I've never owned a Japanese made Fender. I've owned Mexican, Indonesian and Chinese made models, but I've never owned a Japanese made. And I've got to say, it's really nice. Apart from the fact there are a few dents, because this is second hand, this guitar's really been used. I mean, you know, there'll be some close-ups there, but look at that. Some proper relic, and I think there's one about, you can't see it, but there's one little dent there. It feels really nice, and the polyurethane's really lovely on this. Usually, like when I bought Fenders or Squires, I've always had to sandpaper it down a bit, or at least wet sandpaper it down a bit. But this is, it's actually really comfortable to play. Because it's a Mustang, obviously, it's got a very short scale neck, very easy to grab onto if you're a person with small hands or big hands. Wide humbuckers. So what does these do? So I'll show you what these switches do. So when you have both of them in the middle, that's the humbucking mode. But put the switch on the right or the left, it splits it. So it's basically like a coil split. So when you have it at the bottom on your right, you get the bottom coil side, the top coil side of the pickup. And I've got to say, for these uh, coil splits on this pickup, it actually sounds really nice. So this is the one that has the famous, or I guess you say infamous, wide humbuckers that were introduced in 1972 by, what's the guy's name? Seth Loven? Is that his name? I think that's what it is. These were introduced by Fender in 1972, like I said. It was introduced for their Telecaster Deluxe guitars with the Fender kind of necks. And I think it was also on some of the, what's that hollow body one called again? The Starcaster? And obviously it was Fender's way of competing with Gibson, because, or at least the Gibson Path humbuckers, because obviously by 72 there was a lot of hard rock bands that were using humbucker guitars like Led Zeppelin, the Allman Brothers, Humble Pie, you name it, those kind of bands. And so Fender wanted to get in on the market and thought, right, we need some humbuckers, but we can't copy the Path pickups by Gibson. So Seth, mate, can you possibly make some unique humbuckers with Fender design? And obviously that's what he did. They get a little bit of bad rep, you know, hit and miss sometimes. You, I think to get around them, you got to try not think of them like traditional humbuckers. I just kind of see them as their own thing. But I've always liked these pickups. I had years ago during lockdown, I had a Fender Ventera Telecaster Deluxe, the 72 one, with these pickups, and I actually used that on the first two gigs with Fade and Lights, and they had a unique sound, and they actually sound not bad on stage, considering, you know, these pickups are notorious for not being the best on stage, but I seem to get on with them fine. But I sold that guitar because I wasn't a big fan of the neck, and I wasn't a fan of the bridge, because it wasn't the classic horse shield bridge. It was like a hardtail bridge, which I don't know. For me, I don't know what it is. For some reason on Telecasters, without that kind of horseshoe designed bridge saddles, it just never felt right for me. I always felt, I think because they just, you know, just made you feel in. And without, you always felt a bit awkward, like, oh, am I muting it right or not? So that's why I sold it. And I should mention, obviously, because this also has the hardtail bridge saddles, which aren't actually as bad. Probably because there's the belly cut. Don't know if you could see that. So I think that makes it a bit comfortable. Obviously, you got to get a bit used to it, because it is a small guitar, and I've got not massive hands, but you know, not very small ones either. yeah, that's really it. Just a little quick video on this guitar. It's still a bit, you know, new to me. I haven't really got into it yet, but overall, I really am loving this guitar. And I should mention the tuning on this is E flat. Might be out of tune a bit actually. Why? Simply I was recording a track that needed a certain tune, because usually all my guitars are tuned to E standard. But this one track was a bit difficult, so what do? You drop it an inch by E flat. And well, let's just say, apart from at first, when you know, have a different tuning for a guitar, it does take a while for some guitars to get used to its new tuning. But this one just managed to do it quick as possible, and then boom. Thank you very much for watching this video. Apologies for the lighting. As you can see, I don't usually have my lighting set up because it's in daylight, and well, as you can see, it's very dark and I probably look like something out of a 1940s film noir. Anyway, I'll leave you all. What's your opinion on this guitar? And if you own a Pawnshop Mustang Special like I do, let me know what you think. I hope to see you all next time for another video, whenever be. Take care, folks.